Osteoporosis is a silent epidemic that affects millions of older Australians, both men and women. Each year, over 165,000 Australians suffer a fracture because of osteoporosis. That's one fracture every 3 minutes. More Australians die from the complications of osteoporosis than from breast and prostate cancer taken together. When a bone breaks due to osteoporosis, we call it a fragility fracture. These fractures greatly increase the risk of further fractures, which are often more severe, harder to treat, and take longer to recover. In fact, half of all women who suffer a hip fracture had a prior wrist fracture. These early fractures are warning signs which should trigger investigation, and if osteoporosis is found, treatment should begin to reduce the risk of further fractures. However, despite the availability of inexpensive, effective, and safe ways to investigate and treat osteoporosis, 4 out of 5 Australians do not receive any of this when they have a first fragility fracture. As a result, thousands of older Australians suffer further, devastating breaks that could have been avoided with proper management. The National SOS Fracture Alliance aims to ensure that all Australians with a first fragility fracture receive adequate investigation and treatment so that the first fracture is the last. Preventing fractures will save lives. It will also save about $3 billion per year in cost to the Australian taxpayer. The National SOS Fracture Alliance is working towards an integrated model of care across Australia, where GPs and hospitals work together to provide the care necessary to prevent secondary fractures for tens of thousands of older Australians. Demonstration of this model's clinical and cost-effectiveness will provide the evidence so urgently needed to close Australia's long-standing gap in fracture prevention. But we need your help. Please talk to your members of Parliament, both federal and state or territory, or write to the health ministers in your state or territory and in Canberra in support of the SOS Alliance's work. Tell your story, or the story of a loved one whose life has been affected by a fragility fracture that could have been prevented if only someone had acted. You will find the contact details relevant to your local area on our website, along with a set of facts and suggestions to help you compose your letter or email. It's important we use our voice to raise awareness of the unacceptable osteoporosis care gap. Together, we can prevent fractures and save lives.